Has been watching this World Cup. The second round of the group stage is well underway. United are looking to maybe add to the youth ranks. Jason Wilcox and Christopher Vivell cooking a little bit. And we've got a little bit of a potential situation popping up with one of our midfield targets. We are talking all of that today, you guys. This is United versus everybody. I am your host, Sean. This is a Man United News Roundup. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on all of this as we get stuck in, you guys. So make sure you hit that like button, please. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I will be right back. What is going on, you guys? Before I do get all involved, I do want to make sure I remind you guys that it is 30% off in the United vs. Everybody online store at the moment. If you guys haven't yet seen my posts, I wanted to make sure I put them out. I didn't realize that it was one day only 30% off, but it is 30% off right now. So you just click over, there's a link obviously to the store in the video description as well, but 30% off, one day only. It does end today, but you can see all sorts of products. If you guys want to scroll down, click on show more. It's going to bring you all the designs popping up. You can see I am wearing the United vs. Everybody logo shirt. We've got a brand new design here in the sash shirt. I actually just ordered one of these for myself with the 30% off. You can see there. Pretty sick looking designs, but right now 30% off, so make sure you go ahead and take advantage of that before it ends. It does end today, so if there's anything you've been keeping in the cart, anything you've been keeping your eye on, anything you've been seeing that Dylan and I have been wearing on the channel, whether it's mugs, hats, hoodies, sweatshirts, any of it, make sure you get that, because now is the time to get the best deal possible. 30% off, you guys. So happy to always throw you guys as many deals and whatnot as I can, because let's face it, nobody plans to add a lot of this stuff to their wardrobe, but it is nice when you do to get it as a discount. None of it goes to the Glazers or Ineos. All of it goes to help the channel, and it's not that expensive anyway, and it's one of a kind. You're not going to get these anywhere else. So, but happy to throw that out there for you guys as far as the discounts go. Let me get involved in the chat first, see who's involved here. Big up Ian. Ian's in the house. Yes, please sure to hit that like button. Share the video, please, if you can. Hype a couple of the old videos. Subscribe is the most important thing. I love to see the community growing. We've had a lot of new faces in the last couple of weeks. We are on the road to 4K. With your help, I know we can get there. You guys are absolute legends. I know you guys are doing your part, so we'll try to get there, but big up. The Bossy's in the house. Yeah, people are trying to hijack. We're going to talk about that because I've got thoughts. I know you guys have thoughts. And the Premier League fixtures were released today as well, so we'll get your thoughts on some of that as well. Let's kick things off, though, with an academy update, because we do have a bit of news regarding some youngsters. So as United are reportedly looking to add 16-year-old Liverpool attacker Vincent Joseph to our academy going into next season. He has played a couple games for Liverpool's under-18s. He scored a couple goals this season. He scored loads and loads of goals for Liverpool's under-15s, multiple hat-tricks this season from the youngster. He's got 8 goals in 9 games for England's under-16s as well, Vincent Joseph. He can play striker. He can play as a 10. He can play, I guess you could call it, as a 10, not like a creator, more like a, I don't know what you call it, a Gibbs White kind of as a kind of thing. Second striker, maybe, if you want to call it that. He can also play wide as well. He is very good at taking on his defenders in 1v1s. He can hold up the ball as well. I've seen him also compared to Jamal Musiala in the way that he plays, just kind of the relentless ball carrier in that final third. If this goes through, if this deal goes through, I don't think it's final yet, but if it does go through, he'd be signing a scholarship with United. We seem to be just tracking down a lot of these youngsters who are playing in other academies. Obviously, LaSalle from Crystal Palace, Aiden Heaven as well. I think there was that that young keeper we were looking at. I don't remember if we got him or not. We've been kind of hoovering up a lot of the younger talent as well. Really happy with it. I'm happy to see us kind of keeping an eye local as well, what's going on in England, some of the youngsters in the academies around there. Obviously, we do offer a pathway. I mean, it was a big reason Aiden Heaven joined us from Arsenal. Is, you know, we give the most minutes to academy youngsters out of any club in the league that year prior. So obviously the pathway is there. We back our youth. The club is built on youth as its foundation, as its cornerstone, as its history. Very, very proud of that fact. I love that fact. I love that we've got that record. I love that we have the record. I don't want us to necessarily force the record on a given match day, but that's a whole nother argument for itself. But Danny B's in the house. Big up, a little busy at work. No worries, man. No worries. We are just chatting a little bit of news today. Not a ton to talk about, but obviously some fun stuff to talk about. Really, we're going to spend more time recapping this next round of the World Cup. Anybody watching any of the games today, we'll be going over to B-Rad. He's graciously hosting U.S. versus Australia. That should be a fun match today. Both teams look really good first round. It's a big, crucial match for them. But big up, Danny B. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, Vincent Joseph, he was one that I had heard about several months back, not for any links to United, but just in general as a good young player, potentially leaving Liverpool. So it was one that I put kind of in the back burner just to keep an eye on to see how he does. We've done some scouting reports on some youngsters from some academies and stuff around here, from some players from Crystal Palace, from Leicester as well. So some good players in and around the room. I've also heard rumors of Christopher Ravel keeping tabs on 14-year-old Derby County striker Blake Henry as well. Kid has apparently scored 45 goals last season. He's also trained with Derby's under 18s and under 21s, and again, he's just 14 years old. Basically a striker version of J.J. Gabriel from what I'm reading, but 45 goals is nuts. I love that we're looking at some of these youngsters from England, man. It's great. Because reportedly we're not even done there. Manchester City's got a player named David Eze that apparently we're very interested in. He apparently was invited to visit Carrington alongside his kind of entourage, his representatives this week. The expectation I'm hearing is that Eze will join United, even though there are a couple other Premier League clubs interested as well. So again, third youngster that we're looking at. And then Charlton Athletic have a young player named Tyree Arojigan that we're looking at. And then Liverpool have another player named Isaac Conde that apparently we're looking at as well. This comes through what continues to be an aggressive, kind of ambitious, kind of really, I don't know other words for to describe it. The way we're kind of looking at a lot of these young English players coming through the academies, obviously it helps our homegrown quota, but we do offer a pathway, like I said, to first-team football that other clubs just don't. And it is what it is. I mean, Arsenal fans are all, happy about Max Dowman, and the kid looks great, but are they actually going to play him? Are they? I just don't know. Liverpool flat out refuse to play some of their players, refuse to give those guys some more minutes. So we give our players minutes. We don't just turn around and sell them like Chelsea do. Our players have. Kobe's gotten minutes. Rashford has gotten a ton of minutes in the last decade since he's really made his first team debut. We actually give them, and we're looking for some of the top prospects here in the country, which I'm all about. Very, very happy about. Debasta says Vivel is secretly securing our future. Yeah, Vivel and Wilcox. This is one of the things I'm very happy to see from guys like Wilcox and Vivel, is really kind of secretly going about this kind of business as well. The Senna Lamans was a big deal. Some of the players like Orozco, things like that, Sekou Kone, really good. Like to see that. We do also need players for the here and now as well, so I do like to see what we're going to be doing in the market. Transfer window has only been open for, 4 days now, 4 or 5 days. Got to wait till July 1st to finalize Ederson. Obviously, we know IFAB regulations for international player registration. That's secretly doing that one. We're working on Mateus Fernandes. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. Potentially a left back, potentially a left winger. We spoke about Crescencio Somerville the other day as well. Go check out that video if you guys haven't yet done so. Let us know what you think we should prioritize, left wing or left back. Most of you opted for left winger. I don't know if that's a recency bias because of the latest rumors or what, but I guess it really just comes down to how you see Dorgu. Is he a left back or is he a left winger? I'm only going by what I've seen, and what I've seen from Carrick is that Dorgu is mainly a left winger or a right winger. We use him as right winger even under Amorim as well. Dylan and I were at that match against Newcastle where he played on the right wing, cutting inside onto his left foot. He actually scored the winner in that match, so we'll see what happens. But let's talk World Cup, you guys, because had a lot of games this round I want to go over with you, starting with Portugal versus the Democratic Republic of Congo, or you can call it DR Congo. We'll just call it Congo. It was a bit, I don't know about you guys, but so this ended 1-1. It was a bit of an annoying performance from Portugal. And I don't know why it's annoying for me, other than maybe because I have them in my bracket as winning the World Cup. But it was just annoying. It reminded me a lot of Spain, even a little bit of France. It was just, they were kind of slow, not really a whole lot of intent, ambition, not a lot of hustle to get that ball forward quickly, to get it into the danger zone quickly. They looked bereft of any ideas outside of basically just trying to find Ronaldo in the box. But even then, they were just slow to do it. They could have played a lot of those balls earlier. There was kind of like what I've seen from United sometimes. Sometimes we just, I like Ahmad, for instance, at times it was very frustrating. Ahmad takes too long, one too many touches, and then tries to put the ball back into the box. When you really like just whip it in earlier, there's a lot of space in between Congo's defense and their keeper, that corridor of uncertainty where you just need to whip the ball in there. We saw Lukaku get involved the other day for Belgium when the ball just like that. Obviously, it was deemed an own goal, but again, that kind of ball for a veteran striker like Ronaldo is all you need. And if you're going to put it in the box, just put it in the air. The crosses weren't good. They were too slow. Just whip in an early ball behind the defense, but it is what it is. And the problem is, like I said, for us when we were playing against low block teams, is that because we were so slow and because the Congo were sitting so deep, all they had to do was cut out that ball in from the byline or just clear the balls in the box because the balls weren't very good quality ever. I would have brought on Gonçalo Ramos much earlier to help stretch that defense a little bit, which I think is what ended up happening. Obviously, they made that change a little later. Roberto Martinez, I told you guys going into this, Portugal have such a good squad. They're very good, but Roberto Martinez is just going to kill it with his tactics, and his tactics were just too slow, lethargic, hesitant. Waited too long, I thought, to bring on another attacker. Ronaldo was isolated, didn't really get a whole lot of sniffs, and once Gonçalo Ramos came on, now there was a little bit of a threat. Defense got pushed and pulled a little bit. Some space opened up. Threats were split, and I think that's what they just need to play, like a 3-5-2 or like a 4-4-2 or something. I would probably go with a 3-5-2, honestly, just to get bodies in midfield and go ahead and get some strikers up there. But it is what it is. I don't know if you guys thought of that one. Deposit said, can we sign some Congo defenders? Anybody looks good when you're just parking the bus. I mean, how good did Chris Smalling look under Louis van Gaal? You guys remember that? Then he says, Manzambi came in clutch for my fantasy team. Nice. Yeah, I have Manzambi in my team. I did not have him starting this round. So maybe if I get lucky and another one of these players doesn't start, he'll pop in. I think he got like 15 points. But I did use my 12th man this week. Last week I did, I think it was like double captain or something. I don't remember. And this week I did the 12th man. So you basically get to go pick any player you want to have as an extra player, no cost to the budget or anything. I just went for Lionel Messi because why not? So if Messi gets me more points, it would have been awesome. I still don't really know how to play fantasy, so you have a really good chance, but I'm not last anymore, so that's all I had to do. But big up, well done there. You guys listening to some of the scouting reports, listening to some of my scouting report special ahead of this one. Manzambi was definitely in there, so big up. He's having a really good little World Cup. He'll probably go for big money this summer. Don't be surprised to see Madrid come in for him. The Bossy says Portugal had terrible ball losing history. Leao was so poor. I've never really rated Leao, honestly. I've never seen much of a difference between him and like Rashford or Garnacho. They all have very similar profiles, very similar style of play, and they all kind of make the same mistakes on the ball. And Leao, like Rashford, is old enough where he really shouldn't be making those mistakes anymore. At least not as much as he was, 5-6 years ago when people were first talking about him. So I've never rated Real as highly as a lot of people do. I've never thought he was worth that money, but it is what it is. And Dabasi agrees. Yeah, Portugal. Yeah, when you're playing one striker against, like, it's too easy to defend. I mean, how many times have we seen that with Shesko this year? It's just too easy to defend him sometimes when we're taking too long to get that ball forward. So you wait too long, it just is what it is. But Portugal need to show me something this next round because I have Bruno on my side, but he just did not really get many points. Let's talk about England-Croatia. This ended 4-2 to England. Croatia, in my opinion, need a bit of a reset. They've got a few too many players on the wrong side of 30, really a few too many players on the wrong side of 35 if you really want to deep it. I told you guys about Baturina, though. Remember, I scouted him several months back on the channel. I think I put him in my scouting report special for Croatia this season. But Baturina bagging a goal. Harry Kane did some Harry Kane things, got me a brace for my fantasy team last week, so that was awesome. Bellingham and Rashford getting some goals as well. I thought Elliot Anderson looked very, very, very good. I'm still clinging to just a tiny little shred of hope that we could somehow do something for Elliot Anderson because he was an absolute force of nature in midfield, just sweeping up, making sure that the ball never got really into England's half if he could. And Harry Kane, though, I mean, Honestly, I'm back on Harry Kane, man. Can we try to get him to Old Trafford, man? He's wasted in the Bundesliga. It's a one-team league. It's a foregone conclusion every year. They were winning before he got here. They didn't need him anymore. Like, I would take Harry Kane for a couple seasons, and then you can go to the Saudi or go to MLS after that. But just a couple seasons to basically come in, coach Shesko a little bit, would be great. But it is what it is. Thing with England, though, and we were talking about this while we were watching the game the other day, that the defense was not great, and I think it has a lot to do with Thomas Tuchel's obsession with building from the back. It kind of reminded me of Southampton under Russell Martin. You guys remember when Russell Martin was at Southampton? No matter what the opposition did with their press, no matter what the quality was with the players, or you can even argue like with Ten Hag at United, like it was forceful playing out from the back. Balls into the box, these English defenders would just take it down. And instead of booting it, instead of just clearing the danger, they would want to take it. They'd want to basically try to walk it out of their box under pressure, and it just caused problems for them. They don't have the players for it. Don't do it. It just seems weird to me when coaches just force that kind of stuff. Like, I get it, that's your system, but that's one of the things where you really can't force it unless you have the players for it. If you've got like a Lissandro Martinez or something on your side that's very, very good on the ball in his own box, very press resistant, very composed, cool, go for it. When it's someone like Harry Kane, Victor Lindelof, or some of these English defenders, like what's John Stones going to do, really? What's he going to do? Like, he's not going to do that. So didn't really think it was great for him, but what you good. The box says, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Rashford won the game. Hey, I mean, if Barcelona want to pay 70 plus million for Anthony Gordon, who didn't really do anything besides chase the ball down for 60 70 minutes, instead of paying 26 million for Rashford, who came on and scored, I mean, that's on them. I'm just saying, but it is what it is, man. But it's just weird from Tuchel. He needs to get over this whole building out from the back thing, because it's going to cost them a World Cup if they persist with it. But moving on. Ghana 1-0 over Panama. I watched this one mostly because I wanted to catch Caleb Urenki in action, and he did not disappoint. Not only was he all over the midfield for Ghana, shielding the defense, cutting off passing lanes, even getting forward, getting into space to receive the ball and help link up the defense to attack, getting up and down the pitch. Just when this looked like this was going to end 0-0, who pops up with the late winner? Caleb Urenki. I told you guys about Caleb Urenki. You guys got me some points too doing this. Made a run in the box, get on the end of a squared pass from the left-hand side. I'm telling you, Caleb Urenki is something special. You guys need to watch him. Go watch a couple of my scouting reports. I've scouted him a couple times on the channel. Such a good young player. It's crazy that there are 48 teams in this World Cup and 10 of them are African nations. And that's not me being xenophobic. I'm just really curious about how that happened. There's a lot of nations in the world, a lot of continents in the world, a lot of separate little individual competitions. And yes, you have to qualify, but it's interesting that 10 African nations all qualified. It's just interesting how that works out. But it is what it is. If you guys are big fans of Caleb Urenki like me, let me know what you thought of him. But I thought he was an absolute force of nature for Ghana. This is really going to be, I told you guys in that scouting report special, and I don't think I mentioned him in that special because I feel like I've scouted him enough times on the channel, but there's some players, this could be a really good platform for them. Manzambi's another one. Urenki's up there as well. This is going to, Baturina will probably earn himself a move out of Como as well if he keeps it up, but he is the guy who's probably going to take over that Croatian mantle for Luka Modric as well. Baturina, he's at Como. Reportedly, Madrid wanted him last summer. He rejected that because he wanted to go play. I mean, how many 10s do Madrid really need? But it is what it is. But we move. Uzbekistan 1, Colombia 3. This was the Luis Diaz show as Colombia just pushed wave after wave of attack against Uzbekistan. I mean, Luis Diaz seemed to be involved in everything. He had a goal and assist on the night as well. Daniel Munoz from Crystal Palace is the one who opened the scoring. Diaz popped up, but then Campes in stoppage time as well. It was just, I mean, it was Uzbekistan basically defending for their lives. Kashanov, obviously there from Man City, basically just trying to defend. He's in a, I mean, he'll probably be looking up a way to maybe change nationalities at some point, maybe just to get himself around some better players. And that's not a diss, it's just the fact. You can be the best player in your national team. And you might be. We've seen how many players switch nationalities to go represent other countries just because they want playing time. But yeah, that one kind of went the way we thought it maybe would. Czechia, South Africa ended a 1-1. I keep forgetting how many players the Czech team actually has that are actually pretty decent. Adam Chlosek is good. Patrick Schick, I really like Patrick Schick. Krejci, remember I scouted Krejci as a Leach replacement when he was still at Girona. I've actually been watching him since he was at Sparta Prague. Matty Kovar obviously is in the Czech team. Shalupek, another defender I've scouted. He's a good little shout to add to your fantasy team because he bagged 8 goals last season as well for his league team. Late Pen for South Africa equalized. And honestly, that was a cool moment to watch because you could kind of see the emotion, you could feel the tension, but also then the relief in the South African side, wherever you watched it from. And that was a massive point for them and really what's been a really first World Cup for a lot of these teams. But it was a really good, cool game to watch as well. Let's see. It says not Dead Palace. Yeah, Munoz. Yeah, the other one. You're thinking of Victor Munoz, who, by the way, I also scouted on this channel several months ago, if you guys remember that. So I'm just saying, somebody probably watches this channel because a lot of these players that we're scouting are now getting picked up and linked to United, man. I did scout Victor Munoz probably about 3 or 4 months ago, if you guys remember that. So just saying, Liverpool, you're welcome. I expect a finder's fee. Switzerland 4, Bosnia 1. A little disappointed in Bosnia. I expected a little bit more of a fight. Who had Manzambi in their fantasy besides Danny? I did watch this one. It was pretty much all the Swiss, though. They carved him up like a Swiss Army knife. Diduch. Alabegovic just struggling as like the lone kind of live wire attacking outlet for that side. Edin Dzeko still playing, even though he's about 40 years old. Kolasinac, you can see there in the background, former Arsenal player. I don't know where he's playing football now. I think he went from Arsenal to like Lazio or something, and then I don't remember what happened to him after that. But yeah, the Swiss this was a big goal differential padding match for the Swiss. They really needed this one. But Manzambi pretty much just running the show. But I told you guys, keep an eye on Manzambi, man. He pretty much does everything. There's not really any sort of straight up midfield role. He is, if you had to pen him down, he's probably between like an 8 and a 10. I'd probably play him as a 10 just to let him get into advanced positions and do stuff personally if he was on my team. But you guys let me know what you think about Manzambi. Was I right? Was I wrong? Let me know. Let's talk about Canada versus Qatar. This ended 6-1 to Canada. The Canadians, again, another team padding the goal differential after the waking up and choosing violence, and then probably afterwards telling all the Qatari, sorry for all the goals. Sorry, do you guys want to meet up and get supper later? Sorry. It is nice to see Jonathan David scoring again, though. Hat trick for the Canadian, who I really wanted at United. You guys remember when he was top of my list not that long ago. This was well over a year ago because he was a free agent last summer. And I really wanted him. I thought he could be a really good striker for us. He's experienced. He was on a free. He was scoring buckets of goals at Lille for several years. Didn't exactly go his way at Juventus. That club's been kind of a mess this season, obviously failing to qualify. When you pick up Jonathan David, you still got Vlahovic, who's crapping out. I think they have another striker, too, that just is not cutting it. Like, I just don't know what the plan... I didn't see a plan from Juventus transfer-wise, and this is what happens. Like, if I were Jonathan David, I'd be trying to get out of that club as soon as possible. Maybe if Vlahovic leaves and you're the main guy, everybody can just kind of focus and get back to work. But otherwise, I mean, the club itself is just an absolute mess. And even that's not even touching the legal stuff that they've had to go through in the last couple of years. But yeah, Canada definitely woke up and chose violence. It is a shame about Kone's double leg fracture, though. That looked nasty in real life. But it was good to see Jonathan David back on the score sheet. Ian's popping back up. Big up, Ian. He's here in spirit. He's still driving home. It is hot, nice. It is a nice day. My wife and I went on a little morning hike and then picked up a little snack on the way home. We got out early enough in the day where the heat wasn't too bad yet. It started to kick up a little bit. We probably got on the trail about 8:30, off it around 10. Walked, we think I hiked about 2.5 miles. Saw a lot of animals, a lot of wild turkeys, a lot of deer, some frogs, some turtles, some baby ducks. You know, the kind of stuff we have in Michigan. We don't have a whole lot of exotic stuff. You go down south, like when I would go to Louisiana a while back, gators, snakes, lizards, armadillos, everywhere. Up here, not so much. Occasionally, we'll get like a fox or a deer. Like I've had deer in my backyard before. That's about it. Let's see. Danny says, I'd play him out wide. He's the one to get out of Germany. Baller. Are we talking about Man Zombie? Yeah, he's very good. He's just good on the ball. I want him driving the ball. I want him in and around the box if I can help it. Maybe preferably on the edge of the box. Demas says, if it's saying we need a wide, pacey left wing. I mean, we've got Dorgu, we've got Cunha. I mean, they're both playing there. That's just is what it is. So, but I hear you. I hear you. Maybe someone who's a little bit more natural left winger. I totally hear you on that regard. Maybe that's where the Somerville links came from. But we'll see. Moving on. Mexico 1, South Korea 0. I wanted to watch this one live, but I was tired last night. I didn't do it. I watched it this morning. Honestly, I thought it was just lacking a bit of quality, if not any effort. I mean, there was effort, there was fight. Obviously, it was getting a little chippy there in the first half. Kanjin Lee picked up an early yellow for a little bit of a studs up challenge. It wasn't high, it was just studs up. It is what it is. And really, honestly, the only thing that separated the two sides was a horrible mistake between South Korea's goalkeeper and one of the defenders that basically gifted Mexico the goal through Romo. I think Quinones is having a stellar tournament, by the way. If you guys have been watching the Mexican attacker, lively, he's involved. He's kind of a conduit. He's dropping in everywhere to kind of receive that ball and turn and kind of, everything's going through him. And I really like the look of him. Obviously, he's only really played in Mexico and the Saudi League, so it's not like one that I would say United need to go and get personally. He's 28 now, I think, and that's the only place he's been playing. So it is. If you were like 5 years younger, I'd maybe think about taking a punt on him. But at this point, I don't know. If you're getting someone from the Saudi League, just go get Ivan Toney. I mean, it is what it is. But Quinones is having a stellar tournament. Mexico grabbing another 3 points against a side that a lot of us, I thought this was going to be a much better game. You can say it was good because they kind of canceled each other out, but I just didn't see a whole lot of quality from the two sides over the course of the 90 minutes. It was that moment of luck that basically gifted Mexico a goal. No worries, Danny. Keep it real, man. Got to get that money, man. Get that paper. Get that paper. Parks and Rec fans, if you know, you know. But it is Man United versus Man United tonight as Tyler Fletcher and Scotland take on Nusayr Mazraoui in Morocco. So keep a lookout for that one. We've got some other matches. Like I said, obviously I will be heading over to B-Rads to watch U.S. versus Australia. Scotland, Morocco at 6. There's a couple of late ones tonight too. Brazil takes on Haiti at 8:30, and then 11 p.m. kickoff for Turkey and Paraguay, which is nuts. Tomorrow, Germany, Ivory Coast should be fun. Netherlands, Sweden should be decent, maybe. Ecuador, Curacao, not really interested in that one. So I'm trying to see if I get some time, maybe do a watch along for one of these. I just got to find one that I really care about watching. There hasn't been a ton going on. Norway, Senegal will be fun. I'll definitely be watching that one. That kicks off at 8 on Monday, it looks like. But let me know what matches have been some of your most exciting watches so far this World Cup. And then let me know if you guys have changed your mind on any teams winning it. Let me know if any players are jumping out. Let me know how your fantasy team is doing if you guys are taking part in the United vs. Everybody World Cup Fantasy League. Remember, the winner of that is going to get a brand new 26-27 Man United shirt straight from the United store to their front door. I'm hoping to win it because that would be cool. But who knows? All right. Guys, hopefully you're still with me. I see a lot of people watching. I hope a lot of people are hitting that like button as well. If you are watching on X, please consider jumping over real quick and just hitting that like button for me and subscribing if you're new to the channel as well. Love to see those subscriptions going up. And we're going to dive into some transfer news because it's getting a little interesting out here with some of the transfer rumors that are popping up in and around the United sphere. So literally a day after it was reported that Spurs were supposedly going in for Sandro Tonali, which don't know if I see that one happening. They've already been linked with another midfielder, and potentially people are freaking out because this could impact United's midfield rebuild. So let's see what David Ornstein is coming out with now. He has claimed yesterday that Spurs are among the clubs keen on signing Mateus Fernandes from West Ham United. And this is apparently separate from the Sandro Tonali deal that they're going for. Reportedly, Roberto De Zerbi is the one driving this move. He wants West Ham. He wants Fernandes as well as Tonali. So Spurs trying to make two big money moves for two big midfielders in a push to maybe try to get into the top half of the table, at least maybe to try to get out of the relegation zone next season. That would be a big step for them. I don't know what you guys think about this one personally. So Ornstein claims Spurs want both Tonali and Mateus Fernandes. Do we really think that's going to happen for Spurs? Do we really think that Tonali, who reportedly wants to play Champions League football, is going to Spurs? Do we really think that Fernandes, who reportedly only wants to come to United, basically personal terms agreed for United, do we really think he's just going to pivot and go play for Spurs? I don't know how I feel about that. I just don't think that that's going to happen. This literally is what happened last summer with Brian Mbeumo. If you remember, Mr. David Ornstein, almost literally a year ago to the day almost, that that Brian Mbeumo only wants to join United, and asked who's this, Arsenal, Newcastle, Spurs, all interested, but the Cameroonian international favors Old Trafford if deal agreed. So basically, like we've been saying, the reason that we're maybe seeing a little less noise on Mateus Fernandes to United is because the player gets the buy-in. Once we get that, there's not a rush. The player is as good as our player at this point, so it doesn't really matter at that point. And that's basically what Ian and I were trying to say the other day, what I've been saying for months. It may seem like we're moving slow, and I do think that, in terms of overall business, we could probably move faster. But in terms of the individual deals, a lot of them are basically done behind closed doors. We're just now not rushing because we got the buy-in, and when you got the buy-in, United don't seem to tend to want to rush for that. So, what are we saying here? Ian says Sean is a quality player. Really want United to get him. That's why I put in my 225 rebuild. Manzambi. Yeah, Manzambi is a little baller, man. He's going places. I'm telling you, right? He's got that Morgan Rogers, Gibbs White kind of Eberechi Eze kind of vibe to him, in my opinion. But yeah, this literally is what happened last summer with Mbeumo. Like, it doesn't matter what Spurs are doing with Fernandes, for instance. Fernandes wants United, and for some reason, people keep forgetting as well that it is the player's choice too. I think if a player were handed an opportunity to go to Manchester United or Tottenham, I think the only thing that's going to change their mind is going to be wages at that point. If Spurs came out and were like, yeah, we'll give you $500,000 a week, but they don't do that. And so I don't really understand. I don't even know what Mateus Fernandes is on weekly at West Ham. It's got to be close to like $100K a week though. So people forget that it is the player's choice too. Just because it's like Spurs and West Ham can agree to a deal all they want to behind. Spurs could try to blow us out of the water with £100 million bid. But at the end of the day, if Mateus Fernandes wants to go to United, I mean, that's where he's going to go. It just is what it is. Here's the thing, too. This is also starting to feel a little bit like Jorge Mendes maybe using David Ornstein to put a little pressure on United or put a little pressure on anybody, really. And I put this in the group chat the other day, again, starting 11 and Legends members. We do have a WhatsApp group, but I put it in there like, I'm wondering why David Ornstein seems to get a lot of scoops regarding Jorge Mendes clients. I did a little Google search of David Ornstein, Jorge Mendes, and whatnot, and he gets he's the first one to report on a lot of Jorge Mendes clients. So I'm wondering what kind of connection he has there behind closed doors. Starting to get the feeling that some of this is agent driven. This isn't me just being biased, like, just because it's not what I want, it's agent driven. It's just when I zoom out the lens a little bit and look at just how many of these little exclusives and how many of these little bombas the Ornstein drops, and a lot of them seem to have to do with Jorge Mendes clients these days, whether it's Jose Mourinho, Mateus Fernandes, or whatnot. Ugarte, talking about Ugarte the other day, also a Jorge Mendes client. I'm starting to wonder how reliable some of this is. He's come out with a couple crazy things in recent weeks, so I'm a little hesitant on that one. What do you guys make? Are you worried at all about this? Do you even think that Sandro Tonali could go to Spurs? Because I definitely don't see that one happening, like, at all. I'd see Tonali going to Aston Villa before I see him going to Spurs. Aston Villa are in Europe. I'd see him going to Liverpool before I see him going to Spurs. Liverpool are in Europe. I just don't see it personally, but you guys could let me know what your thoughts are. Where do you think? And I put a poll in the chat. Let me see where this poll is while I'm thinking about it. 14 votes, and literally everybody says that Mateus Fernandes will be playing at United next season, not West Ham, not Spurs, not anywhere else. United. So I think you guys are kind of smelling what I'm selling here when it comes to some of the rumors. Sounds like none of you are as worried as a lot of you other United fans. It's fun. You got to stay off the internet during transfer season because it is just nuts how much reaction, clickbait, rage, all of it. And it doesn't help that a lot of big channels basically do this as well. Some of the biggest channels are all just whiny little rage baiters who whip 2 million subscribers up into a frenzy, and then they all take to Twitter to basically just tag and retweet and stuff. It's just, you got to stay off it, man. It just has a snowball effect. The littlest little comment here, the littlest little thing. Like I saw somebody today where like all these people are running with the story, like major BBC journalist says United could sign Tchouameni. Literally, the BBC journalist in question is Simon Stone, and all Simon Stone says, it's possible they signed Tchouameni. Look what they did with Ronaldo. That's literally the quote that everyone is kind of vaguely referring to. They're not quoting it directly because if they did, everybody would see right through it and say, well, he actually didn't say anything there. You got to go and read the articles, people. If you just read the tweets, it's easy to believe anything you see, man. The box says George Mendes is a very powerful agent. He scammed us with Bebe. Yeah. George Mendes is powerful. I mean, he sits on his own private island that Ronaldo bought for him for his wedding. So, I mean, hey, it is what I wish somebody buy me an island. That'd be great. Mike Hill, welcome back, bud. Hope you're doing well. Howdy. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Tobias says our fans have PTSD always during. Yeah, I think, and I don't get it because even if you want to look at recency, like last summer was actually good business. Now, I do think some of last summer was a little slow. And we saw that with the fact that it took like, what, a month or a month and a half for all three of our attackers to start a game together because every single manager, for some reason, wants a preseason. When they don't get it, they're hesitant to throw players into the mix. I don't really see the need for that. A, you get your business done early, and B, it's not that big a deal. Striker is a striker. Set Shesko in the box, put the ball in the box, let him do what he does. It doesn't need a full preseason necessarily to that. Maybe to get up to speed with English football, but again, I just think it hurts us to wait that long. But again, that's less of a managing thing and more of an Ineos thing. You know that's what's needed, so get your business done early. Technically speaking, the transfer window wouldn't even be open yet. Like, we're very lucky that it's getting open earlier these days with Club World Cups and World Cups in there. So, Tabasi says, slow got us Lamens. Imagine if we rushed and got Martinez. Exactly. You can't react to these things. You have to respond. And the response needs to not be from fans. It needs to not be to the media. It needs to be with responding to what the manager says they need on the pitch. Now, that doesn't mean you respond to the player identity. You look at the profile they're looking for. You talk to Carrick. What has he noticed in training? What has he noticed in the dressing room? What has he noticed on the pitch? What is he lacking? What does he need? Look for those profile players. Vivell, Wilcox, go and do your thing and go finding those players. Sit down and have a little powwow about the profiles and then go from there. It's not the manager's job anymore to do that. Managers aren't analysts. They're not scouts. They don't have that kind of power anymore. If you don't amass these recruitment structures that big clubs have now only to let the manager decide. This isn't Wrexham. This isn't 1998 Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill. As good as it worked back then, it's just not the way things are done anymore. We are bigger than Wrexham, so we can have someone other than the manager picking players. So Mike says, Fernandes is not choosing Spurs over us. It's only a concern if we walk away from him. Yeah, I think the only thing that would walk away is if for some reason West Ham just don't lower their price, and if Fernandes himself doesn't maybe help us out by maybe pushing a little bit. Again, Fernandes wants to come to us. I don't know if every player is going to kind of force the move, which I get. I respect it to an extent, but I mean, if another club is going to spend, if we walk away, again, like you're saying, that's the only way we miss out on them. It's not that we're actually missing out. It's just that we had our valuation. West Ham didn't budge. I'd rather us walk away than wait all summer and then go and pay 80 million at the end of August or something like we did with Anthony. Like, that's just ridiculous. Or like we did with Harry Maguire. You guys remember that bullshit? Ian says, Sean, I've had to pull over to say, Ian, you're killing me. Never change. I had to pull over to say there's absolutely no chance Spurs will hijack this bid. Frankly, it's laughable. They tried this last year, the player. Yeah, and that's basically what I said. I do agree with Mike. I think that maybe the only way this is going to change is if we just decide it's not worth haggling over for all summer. We'd rather just go and get our business done. and go from there. Because I mean, West Ham are reportedly asking for like Sandro Tonali money for Mateus Fernandes, and why I do think that Mateus Fernandes has probably got a higher ceiling than Sandro Tonali, and numbers wise, he's had a better season than Sandro Tonali. I don't think either player is worth that much. It just is what it is. So we cannot kind of add to the whole skewing of the transfer market by inflating the market with exorbitant prices. We're not City, we're not Liverpool, who apparently had a like €100 million bid for Yan Diomande, rejected, by the way, by Leipzig. How ridiculous is that? I can't believe that they put in that kind of money for Yan Diomande, and it got rejected too. That's absolutely nuts, man. And I'm surprised that Madrid aren't in form with the way their right wing situation is kind of up in the air. They could sell Rodrigo, probably get 70 million for Rodrigo. They could definitely go for Yan Diomande, and they're all set. PSG could go for Yan Diomande if they want to. It's ridiculous. Devices says Spurs with Champions League couldn't hijack candy from a baby. Yeah, I don't. I mean, what is the appeal of De Zerbi? Do you think that De Zerbi, as a manager, has that kind of pull? The guy's win percentage is garbage. The guy is like, what does he manage? Like 2 years at any club max? Like, he's not that good. His best win percentage was at a club where he only managed like a handful of games, and so obviously the sample size is way too small. I don't think De Zerbi is that decent of a manager. He's not great personally. I think he's volatile. I think he's like a little Timu version of Antonio Conte in that way, that he kind of can get a little volatile with ownership. So I don't know. I just don't see the appeal. But it is what it is. Tiger Claws back. Big up, T Gray says, I feel like we're keeping players on tap in case something better pans out. Yeah, and I mean, how do you feel about that if that's the case? You should have a list. You should have backups. You should have options A, B, and C and stuff. And again, I don't think United worry too much once they get the personal terms agreed, once they get the buy-in from the player. I think you see we push hard on that. And then that puts a little pressure on West Ham, puts a little pressure on Atalanta, puts a little pressure on Newcastle, let's say, if we're going for Lewis Hall or something. Get the player to buy in. Newcastle need to raise money. West Ham definitely needs to raise. Don't listen to West Ham fans if they try to tell you that they don't need to raise money. They need to raise money. It just is what it is. They posted 104 million loss, and that was before they got relegated. They need the money. They've got a lot of players on a big money. They spent a lot of money in the last couple of years. They haven't really sold a whole lot of players. West Ham needs some money. I think Pakate was the last one that they sold. Big up, Rasta Stocks. Welcome back, my guy. It's been a long time. Guys, go check out Rasta Stocks' channel when you get a second. My man is out there. He got his full panel. He's doing his thing out there. He's doing a lot of watch-alongs for this World Cup, too. Big up, Rasta. I'm watching, man. I'm not always involved in the chat because I got a lot of stuff going on, but I see you, man. I see you. But big up, Rasta, man. Much love. Welcome back, my guy. So, but yeah, I'm not too worried about missing out on Mateus Fernandes personally. I think it just is what it is. Yes, I would prefer these players to get early. Honestly, I want Bruno to, in the next match that Portugal have, I want him to get like 7 assists, break the assist record for the World Cup, and then I want Portugal and Belgium and England and anyone else that any other team that any United player is playing, I want them all out of the World Cup at the group stage so they can all come back to Carrington and get started on training. I want to wrap them in cotton wool. I don't like these preseason games. I don't like World Cup. I don't like international friendlies. I don't like the Olympics. I don't like any of it. It all is just injury risk as far as I'm concerned. I am United before anything else, and that's all I care about. So it is what it is. But let's move on, because we move. Let me know your thoughts on Mateus Fernandes as we go along, you guys. Let me know your thoughts on wanting United players to come back early, because I can't stand internet. I like the World Cup in the middle of the year in Qatar was one of the worst things. I think my blood pressure raised so much that tournament, because I hate anything that disrupts the season. I think it's ridiculous that was held middle of the season, but it is what it is. But moving on, let's talk about a backup keeper, because I've seen some reports, I want to say it was Ben Jacobs, if I remember correctly, that claim that we are looking at keepers now. So obviously we've got some keepers who are going to be moving on this summer. We got Byendier probably leaving. Andre Onono probably taken off as well. Tom Heaton did sign another year extension. Vitek probably gonna get sold. If it were up to if we could convince him to stay for another year, great. But honestly, if the plan is to sell Vitek anyway, just do it now while his value is the highest. Because the moment if he stays and he sits on the bench for a year, his value is gonna plummet to the mud. And so he's had an excellent season with Bristol after an excellent season with BW and Linz as well. Just let him go. You could probably get easily low double-digit figures for him, and it's fine. It's all profit. So, but Ben Jacobs claims that Leeds goalkeeper Carl Darlow is actually in talks to become our backup keeper to come in and basically take over for Altai Byendier. At the moment, like I said, Senelamans, Onono, Byendier, Tom Heaton, they are our goalkeepers union. Heaton is really more of just a goalkeeping training partner. I would love for him to maybe stay on as a goalkeeping coach, maybe go coach in the academy as well, like Phil Jones has done. Phil Jones is coaching the academies. Honestly, Onana should and could, be heading to Trabzonspor. We talked about that the other day, that Trabzonspor's president actually basically vocalized that they wanted to stay. Personal terms are not a problem. Byendier looks like he's heading back to Turkey as well. Bye. See you later. And again, Vitek's probably going to be sold. We do need a backup. I don't think we need to spend money on a backup personally. There are free agents options out there. I know Ian threw out Jan Sommer. I threw out Freddie Woodman as well. I think Carl Darlow could be free as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. I saw Ben Jacobs claim that Sam Johnstone is also on the list. Again, it's Ben Jacobs, so take it with a pinch of salt. I just don't know how reliable he is these days. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Debasi says, I've been saying before Vitek was leaving. Yeah, I love Vitek. He's probably going to go, and he probably should. It's better for him to go play. And honestly, if you look at it from a money wise, like, just let him go and get the money. I've been talking a lot. The hike was my allergies are killing me, by the way. Mike says, I agree, even as an England fan and lover of the World Cup, I'd rather United Stars get knocked out. Exactly. This is why I always say when international break comes along mid-season, I'm like, I need some of these players to get the international break flu where they just can't go and say, sorry, sorry, Roberto Martinez, I can't go, I'm a little sick. Like, that's fine. Just keep it, man. Keep it. Yeah, there are a lot of backups out there. Yeah, and that's, again, you don't need to spend money. A backup keeper is a backup keeper. Freddie Woodman had a really good end of the season with Liverpool. He only signed a 1-year contract with them, so he's available for free as well. He's 29 years old. That would be my big free agent. Just go get it done and just get it. You don't need to spend money on a backup keeper. They're barely going to play at most. How often do keepers get injured? Unless you're a Liverpool keeper, apparently. Like, how is nobody talking about how injury prone Allison is, by the way? Like, that guy's been injured a ton. But who should be our backup keeper? You guys throw some names out there as we keep going. Because finally, we're going to talk a little bit about fixtures, because the 26-27 Premier League fixtures have been released, and these are United's fixtures in full. It's going to be an interesting season. Really interesting start to the season. We start against two newly promoted sides, which might be the first time that's actually happened. The first two matches of our season are against newly promoted sides in Hull right off the bat, and Ipswich Town at home towards the end of August. Some interesting matches coming up in September. Obviously, we host Man City in a derby really early on in the season, so we get that out of the way. Some people are saying that's difficult. I mean, obviously, we've shown that it's not super difficult. Ollie beat Pep multiple times. Carrick, we handed City a massive. That derby under Carrick really should have been like 5-0 the way we played. By the way, honestly. Early on, the one that I'm worried about most is really Bournemouth. Bournemouth and us, we just seem to not be able to beat them recently. And we've had what we scored. It was like 2-2 draw early last season and a 4-4 draw last season. Like, it was nuts when we played Bournemouth. It was just a straight up slugfest, dude. Chelsea, I'm not worried about either. Villa, Liverpool, Brentford could be a tough little November for us as well. December, obviously, super packed. I'm already looking at options for my trip to Manchester this year. So far the November and the festive fixture, the Boxing Day and New Year's Eve fixtures, both you see those are back-to-back against Forest and Sunderland at home, which is the same kind of 2-game structure that Dylan and I went to this past year. Dylan and I were at Boxing Day against Newcastle and New Year's Eve against Wolves. So that might be the only one that works. I'm toying around with the idea of the Brentford game at home towards the end of November, and then also going straight up full kit to Anfield when we play Liverpool. I'm toying around with that idea. I don't know yet. We'll see how it goes. Well, we do have back to back against Chelsea and Brighton in February. I didn't even see that one. That could be an option as well. That could be a really good little option here too. And then obviously we end the season against Fulham. We've got Spurs and then Leeds ahead of that, and then another Bournemouth one. Coventry too. Don't forget about Coventry as well. Some interesting matchups in there. We're looking at so the first 5 matches, so the first 2 months of the season: Hull, Ipswich Town, Everton, City, Fulham. What do you guys see? Let's say points wise, out of a possible 15 points for those first 5 matches, going into like a tough October, tough November. I am looking at you gotta think we're getting max points in August against Hull and Ipswich Town. No offense. I do think we could beat Everton. I wouldn't be surprised to see that one end like 0-0 or 1-1 personally. Just Everton seem to just know how to get some of these results. City, we should definitely. I mean, it's Enzo Maresca now, so you never know, but we should definitely be. I mean, we handled them this past season. Fulham can be iffy, but we did beat them recently, so I can see us definitely getting. I'll say, I'll say 13 points out of those first 15 points. I do think that we could drop a point to Everton. I do think that I mean, you could maybe go like 11 points or something if you want to get, or like 10 if you want to say we get 3 wins, a draw, and a loss. But I definitely think that we should be getting maximum points from those first 5 fixtures. Tigre's got a suggestion. James Giles Beatles meant to be really good. Plays Brighton's under 21s at the moment. Interesting. I'm guessing it's a keeper. Always be on the lookout for him. So yeah, I might have to add that Chelsea Brighton one to my list because that could actually work out pretty nicely the first week of February. I will see. Opta have released this as well. This is apparently their English Premier League 26-27 fixture difficulty analysis over the first 10 games of the season. Now, supposedly, according to the Opta numbers, Fulham have the kindest run of games to start the season, which I mean, I get when you look at it like, oh, you can get some of these matches out of the way. If you go on an early run against difficult teams, it could hurt and it could be harder to come back, but you got to play everybody twice. So I guess everybody does. So it is what it is. Let me know what you think about our early run of fixtures. I think we could easily get 12, 13 points from those first run of games. Again, I'm already looking at options, but we'll see. So far, I mean, I've got 2, maybe 3 options now if I'm just looking at Premier League fixtures for my trip. The Champions League fixtures have not even been released yet. So at the end of August when those are released, that can blow this whole thing wide open. But I would like to get over for a Champions League. Dude, the Champions League anthem just hits different at Old Trafford. And like, I don't know how else to say it. I was there for Galatasaray a couple years back. It wasn't a great game by any stretch. It was an awful game. But again, the atmosphere leading up to kickoff, just the buzz, the anthem, the lights, everything was excellent. Now, Galatasaray fans did not help for causing problems in the stands. Obviously, the way we played did not help because Andre Onana was an absolute shit. But what you gonna do? Tobias says our under 21 keeper was so terrible. Yeah. Our under 21, our academy keepers, they're not tremendous. They're just not. It is what it is. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. Especially him. Who was it? I'm trying to remember now. I try to forget that cup final. It was not a great cup final, personally. Big up, John. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Guys, make sure you're liking and subscribing if you haven't yet done so. But what do you make of those fixtures? What do you make of let's see, we've got Hull, which is among the easiest to play against. They're literally the lightest color on there. Ipswich are the second lightest color. Everton, they're getting up there. Yeah. It's City, Bournemouth, Villa, probably the most difficult matches that we've got, honestly, in the first 10. So we've got a decently favorable. We're down there near, we're like the easiest. We're at the top 5 when it comes to the easiest, it looks like. We're down there. I mean, Fulham, Newcastle, Arsenal, United, Brighton, Fulham. I don't get it, but what are you getting? I don't know how they can say that Fulham are the easiest, but oh, I got it. No, never mind. I had it backwards. I thought it was going down to the bottom, but anyway, let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about this Mateus Fernandes deal. Let me know what you think about these World Cup rounds so far. We've got some more kicking off today. I'm going to go watch USA versus Paraguay because, not Paraguay, Australia. That was last week. Should be a good match, you guys. But let me know in the comments who's been sticking out in the World Cup for you. Urenki, Manzambi, who's been catching your eye. Let me know who could be a dark horse so far in this tournament. We're into the second round of the group stage, so anything can happen still. We're still wide open for a lot of teams. Some big matches this past week as well, especially like Mexico, South Korea last night was nuts. Let me know your thoughts, you guys, on all of that. Make sure, of course, you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Like I said, not a super long one today, but I definitely wanted to stop and say hey and get your thoughts on the latest and greatest news. So thank you guys for stopping by tonight. If you weren't able to catch the live, leave a comment as well. You guys know I pay attention to that and get back to you if I can. Enjoy the matches. Enjoy your weekend as well if I don't see you soon. Until next time, take it easy. Later.